Right, it's recording.
Oh,
All is just
Yes.
on, but I'll record it for Sim and Tim anyway.
okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm just really excited to jump on with you ladies. Like, honestly, I know that you already know Tans is amazing, clearly. But the team that you guys are creating together with her are some of the craziest numbers in my reports. And I really honestly don't say that to everybody, trust me, because there's only there's only a handful of workers. Even though we've got a really big team, it's quite funny. You guys obviously know it, being in the recruitment mode yourself, not everybody that you recruit or that is a team actually participates in the team. So I love watching Tansa's leg because there's so many underneath her that are amazing workers. So when she was like, I'm doing my coaching call, I was like, sweet, I'm coming. I want to come say hi. And just let you guys all know that, you know, I know it's a bit crazy. You probably don't know the technical terms of the amount of uplines in between me and Tans. But sometimes I feel like you can get lost in duplication a little bit because I'm so far away. But I just wanted you to know, I see the numbers. I still really love what you guys are achieving. And I'm definitely keen for you guys to, I guess, boom this year. I feel like now's the time, especially Max. Now is your year, Maxine. I honestly am really, I'm so excited for you, hun. I'm so excited because your numbers have never dropped. Have you noticed that?
No, it's good to hear you say this stuff though, because I feel like, I just feel like I'm so far from SSC. I don't even have an SDVF that's really, you know, hammering it, you know. So I just feel so far away sometimes.
I know. I quote this morning though, and it was around goals. And don't get me wrong, because I'm going to talk about how important it is to have goals. But sometimes we can get so focused. Yeah. Sometimes we can get so focused on where we want to go that we forget how far we've come and, you know, how much we've achieved in the meantime. And I think that's kind of, I guess it's the one downside of what we do with Juice Plus, because it's honestly go, next. And we get so wrapped up in that we forget, fuck, we've actually achieved a lot. Like, we've grown a lot. We've got our own customers. Like, we've got people that trusted us to join the team. Like, you know, I'm getting on lives now. Who else would have felt shit scared about getting on lives, you know, a couple of months ago or a year or so ago? Like, there's so much growth that happens. The financial revenue is such a really tiny aspect of what we do. It's the emotional revenue that I feel like sometimes we forget to calculate. We forget to see how far we've gone. So don't get too caught up in, you know, I'm so far away, because honestly, once you hit SSC, then you're going to feel so far away from Q. Once you hit Q, you're going to feel so far away from NMD. And, you know, look, so many people would look at my business and they think, oh my God, I want it. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, I'm so far away from 100 clubs. Still, like, that's still my mentality. Whereas realistically, I think we just need to go, hang on, like, shit, we've done pretty well. So that being said though, I feel like because we can get shocked by, oh, I'm so far away from my next goal, it almost stops us from achieving it. Like, we go into kind of overwhelm and think, well, it's so far away, or I can't really make it happen. Sorry, I'm just getting hot. I'm going to turn some aircon on. There we go. And it kind of lets us play small. I know that's definitely one thing for me. If I use the analogy right now, is that I feel like my next position is so far away that it's almost like, where do I start, you know, and do I start, and then what do I do, and then is it worth it? So I've kind of been playing small for the last couple of months, but I've decided after this holiday, after really seeing how much, like, even just right now, right? So we're on holidays, we've spent all morning playing with the kids, and now I'm doing a few calls back to back as we drive, but I'm literally getting paid about $600 today to drive through South Island. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's crazy. But that's what is like, that's what's achievable for all of you guys. But I feel like, it seems so far away. Don't let it get that. Okay, don't let it seem so far away, because it's honestly just one small bit of action after one small bit of action after one small bit of action. And I've really noticed that after this, I've got comfortable just chilling out. So when I get back home, I'm going to put my head down and my bum up and really get back into action of building big. So hopefully you guys are ready to run with me, because I feel like if you want to take this business to your next step, wherever it is for you, whether it's SC, SSC, NMD, whatever it is you're gunning for, realistically, you need 5 new team to do it. And 5 new team can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're stuck in the mindset of shit, I'm struggling to find 1 or 2. But, Rob, actually, I still need to read it, but he has been talking about an amazing Grant Cardone book. What's it called, babe? 10X. This would be a good one for you too, Tans. And he was saying how, like, as humans, we quite often have really small goals. And then when we don't achieve them, we're kind of like, oh, it's okay. We got a little bit close. Like, say if my goal was, I'm going to find 1 or 2 new frontline, and then I only find 1. Oh, well, it's okay. I achieved half of my goal. I only got 1 teamie. So if we start to up our goal for, like, 10 new teamies, times it by 10, get crazy, get absolutely nuts. But then if you're aiming for 10, you might achieve 3 or 4, because your mind has gone bigger. It's gone that 1 step larger. And I feel like we're all very spiritual. We understand the law of attraction and our intention and our focus. And when we're focusing on bigger things with an open mind and an open heart, we can achieve them a lot bigger. So, Tans, how are you feeling with the girls' goals this month? Is that kind of what this call is for, to see where everybody's at and what they're hoping to achieve? I've got you on mute, honey. Hear you.
Sorry, I've got a noisy background. Yeah, no, that was the idea of the call, but whatever value you can offer, Kat, would be great. I just know that there's a few of, like all my leaders are going for particular goals. So, yeah, I thought maybe mapping it out or anything that you can offer would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know Roy's going for SC qualifying. Is that right?
Yeah, now go, Roy. Now you're on.
I think so. Sweet. I think it's SC. Yep.
Perfect.
SC. Cool.
Perfect.
Thanks for that.
So that's all good. So if we wanted to map out SC, we need 2 strong SDVF legs and 1 DVF leg. So that puts you as a minimum of 3 teamies. Now, I know you've already got Trace underneath you, who is a DVF, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yep, she's DVF.
Perfect. So what I would do is right now, I would obviously encourage her to build to SDVF because you want to see all your teamies succeed.
Yep.
But I wouldn't put my obligation in her to create an SDVF business, if you know what I mean. Because I think that once we bring on a teamie and we put our obligation in, okay, well, do what you need to do. Like, hey, Bloom, make work for me, When we have that kind of mentality, we can get very frustrated very quickly. So I would take your control back and say, well, I've got a DVF leg, if I need to create 2 SDVF legs, I need to realistically bring in 5 teams. Yeah.
Yep.
Because out of those 5 teams, there's probably only going to be 2 or 3 that really get it.
Okay.
And then there's going to be the other ones that just kind of hang around. They just really want to be part of something. They just want to have their personal development met, their needs met. They don't really want to run with this financially. So that would kind of be where you are. And if you're thinking that while you're bringing on those 5 new people and training them, you're also helping Trace, qualifying is going to happen organically. it's just going to be something that passes you straight on by. I find when we get really focused on just qualifying and just getting enough orders to qualify, it can almost be like a rat wheel because we're constantly just doing enough to scrape by. But, you know, like when you think about it, and Max, I'm going to tell you this too, darling, because I know that you've got NMD on your board, but every single person that, you know, you two ladies that are on this call and the ones that are going to be watching it, ideally, awesome. Hey, Dad. Hey. So for all of you beauties, I would strongly recommend that NMD is your goal. You know, a national marketing director is your goal, because once you do hit that, you're looking at around about at least $6,000 a month, at least $6,000 a month. And I find that's a really good place to start. Freedom starts to taste pretty good when you're earning over $1,000 a week residually, you know, and then if you want to do any more bonuses on top of that, you're more than welcome. But to become an NMD, you need what we call 5 really strong lines. So when you're setting up yourself to your next promotion, I don't want you to put blinders up after that, so to speak. So if we're looking at SC or SSC, awesome, we want to tick that off, but that's not our end goal, right? Our end goal is teaching those 5 people how to do this really well. Now, just like we were talking about with the times 10, the goal getting bigger, the bigger that your focus is, the bigger your achievement is going to be. So if you're just focusing on SC or SDVF or just focusing on qualifying, it gets frustrating and you only just normally miss out. Whereas if you guys are focusing on NMD and building strong for NMD, then all the little steps in the middle are going to come by quite quickly. So with that, you know, if you guys all put down on your list, now this is going to scare the shit out of some of you. This scares the shit out of me, but I've given it to myself as well. That this month in April, I'm going to find 5 new teams, 5 new frontline just in April. So realistically, if I look at what I've been doing over the last couple of months, I've really only been adding on 1 or 2 each month. And don't forget, this is my full-time job. That still allows me to have a really cool income. But when I look back to when my business was moving the quickest, it was when I was putting on large numbers of people. It was when I was really getting focused on bringing in the majority of my team, of just getting them in. Because when you've got 5 people that are working together, it's actually easier than when you've just got 1. Because when you bring 5 people in together, it brings a little bit of human competition. It brings easier duplication because you can put them all in a group message and they can all work and bounce off each other. Whereas when it's 1 person, I feel like sometimes all the pressure is just on them. And they sometimes feel like you need them. And that can make humans run in the other direction if they start to feel like you're desperate for them to achieve positions. If they know that they've kind of got to strive for their place in this business amongst 5 other brand new people, you know, the overachievers will rise to the top, and pretty quickly you'll get to see, okay, well, you're somebody who I'm going to work with towards NMD. Of course, you don't want to discredit anybody that doesn't rise to the top, because there's still a very, very large portion of our business that, like I've mentioned, is just about emotional revenue. You know, there's 80% of our business just want to be led. And that's crazy, right? That's crazy statistics, but it will make you feel better when you start to introduce team who don't really want to move. It's pretty quick that they are just part of your 80%. When you get people that turn up to trainings, when you get people that are going through promotions and putting their hand up to help you, they're part of the 20%, like you guys. Okay, so when we talk about recruiting 5, there's a really good chance that at least 2 or 3 of those, maybe if you push it, could fall into the 20% category. Yeah, what is it?
This thing.
Ooh, big truck. Ooh. Yeah, so honestly, that's where I would start. That would be a really good kind of activity, because then if you're going for SDVF, you know that those points are going to smash in. If you've got 5 new team, They only need to place their order basically and somebody else's, and you're already SDVF. If you're looking for SC, you only need to help them build to 2 SDVFs and 1 DVF, and that's SC ticked off. Okay? And Max, where you are reaching for SSC, if you're bringing in, so you have some workers, right? But you want to find another Maxine. You want to find another somebody who's really ready. Yeah, really ready for it.
Yeah.
What do you think's holding you back from that, Max?
Well, I'm very proud of myself because I've had a massive fear around reaching out and sending invites out to my friend base.
Yeah.
I've really avoided that, I will be completely honest. And I've been fine with cold markets, so I've really only been working in cold markets. But this month I've printed off my 30 and 30 connections, and I'm hitting up with 1 person a day, which I should be doing more, but I feel like I'm going to build my muscle. I'm just going to do 1 person a day,
That resonates with me so much. It really does, because that's my weak spot too. If I be totally honest with you, that's the one thing that still scares me a little bit about this business, because I know it works. I know the business works, but I minds alike, and I don't like that they might think that I'm just trying to recruit them.
I think most of us on here, in fact probably all of us on here have that, right? I know that Roy has that too. Probably,
It's so normal, but can I share an experience around my newest teamies? So you guys might have heard me say on training, majority of my team, now I'm going to say 95% of my front line I've recruited off social media, out of that fear, Max, out of that fear of do you know what? I built, when I first started my business, a few of my first teamies were kind of like not friends, but they were in that warm market, like friends would definitely say hi to each other if we walked down the street, like that kind of connection. And shit went sour, and it really turned me off, because I thought, man, I don't want to work with people that I know anymore. They're so difficult. This was the story that I was telling myself, and I told that to myself. That was when it kind of went sour when I went NMD, because I got successful and they didn't. So that was when I thought, shit, you know what? From now on, everybody that I don't know, I'm not bringing on anybody unless they chase me. And the funny part about it is that I have been going to the same eyelash lady for 2 years, and she ended up saying to me, I actually want to join your team, but I don't want to ask, because I feel like if you wanted me, you would have already asked me. She said, is there something wrong with me that you wouldn't take me on board? And I was like shocked. I thought, no, I would love to work with you. I was like, I've actually thought multiple times that you would be amazing at this. And she goes, oh, good, because I actually kept like rocking up to the appointments and trying to lead you into talking about it, so that you would say to me, come join my team. I'll teach you how to do it. And you haven't done it once. It actually made me feel like you didn't want me. And it got me thinking like, oh, wow, this is the total flip side to what I thought would happen.
Yeah.
But mind you, she's now part of the team. But it got me thinking, how many people have, because I'm quite successful, they see me living this life. And when I don't reach out to them and say, hey, I'll teach you how to do it, they take it personally. They think, oh, shit, she doesn't believe I can do it. Or, she wouldn't want me as part of the team. And I thought, wow, it's just our perspective. Because I was thinking I was being polite. They were thinking I was being rude.
Sorry, when you said you got 95% of your people on social media, do you mean cold market?
Yes, cold market.
Well, I mean, the thing about cold markets is they are looking for what you're offering. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But so if we be brutally honest, and you guys, I don't think you know which ones I'm friends with and which ones I'm not. So hopefully I can run with this. But I prefer to work with people that I know. If they get it. If they get it, you have such a stronger relationship, such a stronger connection. You can call them out on stuff a lot more. They're a lot more appreciative because there's that connection, there's that deepness, there's that I already know and respect you. Whereas when it's cold market, they're just so damn flaky. Like, they're so flaky. And if things don't go their way, they just stop talking to you. Or if someone says something, you know, they might just stop talking to you. Whereas if it's a friend or somebody that I know and I've noticed they've started dropping off trainings, or perhaps they were really keen on starting and then they started going cold, I can say, babe, what happened? Did somebody say something to you? And they can come back and they'll be like, yeah, look, you know, my partner's really not keen. Whereas if it's cold market, they just don't reply. Why should they? They don't owe me anything. You know, so it's quite a catch-22 because, yes, they're a little bit more intimidating to ask. Yes, there's always the fallout that something might happen if, you know, but that happens in friendships anyway. But they're so much easier to work with. And I know that I got so successful so quickly because I trusted Lauren so much.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Where's your face gone, Kat? Oh,
she's gone. She dropped out.
possibly, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like she's got off.
Can someone just repeat what she said, that last line again? Because I missed that, and I saw you go, and then it's gone.
You want to remember?
Was it that she was saying that that if you recruit friends, they're a lot easier to work with because you have a relationship with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gone. Oh, that's a shame. Well, that's cool though. Hopefully she'll jump back on, but great value, eh?
Yeah. It's on a roll.
Yeah. So it's really interesting though to know because when Kat was talking about the cold market thing, I mean, I can completely relate to that because 95% of my team are people I know, and the small percentage of team that I have bought from cold markets, I have no connection with really, next to no. I've only got one cold market now. One's just dropped off. And the one that I've had from cold markets, she's actually, you know, she's great. She's really different from all my others. But I definitely have more of a closer relationship with people that I know. Like, you know, Maxine, she's been a friend of mine for a long time. So, you know, it's really nice. And it's really nice to work with your friends, because they do understand you, they do know you, and they can be completely honest with you. You know, it's completely different from a cold market. You don't know them very well at all. So I agree with what Kat was saying.
Then again, Kat got Denise and Joe from cold markets, and they're two of her NMDs.
Well, Joe's her NMD, Denise is Joe's, but yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, Denise is under Joe.
Oh, so
yeah, Denise was a cold market for Joe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's not, you know, that's just a general. It's not saying that every cold market will be the same, but I've certainly found that myself, that, you know, yes, the cold market that I have now, she's great, seems to be really keen and motivated, but the experience I've had from other ones have been pretty not so easy. That's for sure. A real challenge.
Who's your new cold market?
Gail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
well,
yep.
This has really brought, I feel like this business has really brought me and Roy Martin closer together in terms of,
Yeah.
we were friends, but now we're like really, really good
Like,
friends. Yeah. And I mean, we were already doing Zumba and stuff, but we weren't gelling. Like, this has really brought us together. So we've really both been lucky. We've just matched up with the right person.
Yeah.
But also, I've had in the past month just 2 customers from, you know, Cold Market, and they were actually just really quite awesome. They were very skeptical, but once they got it and tried it, they're now like, they're really awesome. So yeah, I know this is about franchisees, but it's still accumulating customers. And I found that, yeah, just if you hit the right page or the right chat group or something like that, it can really go quite well quite quickly. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. Until someone complains and your ad gets taken down.
Oh.
Had that happen too, and there was nothing in the pin post. There was nothing about, you know, nothing about it, and it was going really well. And then, you know, New Zealanders just don't like other New Zealanders having success. I actually felt like writing a letter to them and just saying, this is actually really sad that you will support major brands, but you won't support, you know, independent women trying to make their own way. So yeah, bit of room for discussion. Some of those pages.
Yeah. Good on you, teams.
Hey, Kat, do we have you, or have you gone again?
Karina there.
Yeah, she's frozen again.
Frozen again.
Well, you are there. I can't hear you very well, honey. You're really, yeah. Your face is frozen. Oh, look, we've got you back. Weird stuff happening.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Yep.
Kind of.
I've gone too. Where am I?
No, you're here, Kat. We can see you.
Oh yeah. I've gone back.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, you got me back now?
Yeah, we got you. Can't hear much though.
Yeah, no, I keep cutting in and out. Oh, bummer.
Well, at least you're moving now. You were frozen before. So any other value that you can add, Kat, would be great. I know that all of these ladies have goals, say.
Oh, phone's died.
Yeah. Kim, what's your goal for this month, honey?
My goal? This month I'd really like to find my 2 new teamies and get my business qualified.
Great.
But listening to Katrina, I'd like to be aiming past that. So I don't really know what the next step is, but whatever that is, I'll be aiming for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's a big challenge because, yeah, I've had quite a few nibbles, but no really solid sort of people that are dead keen on the teaming thing. They are tentatively interested. So I get really cold feet around communicating with my friends about joining up, because also first I have to try and get them on the product before I can get them to join. And so I've sort of approached them saying, wouldn't you join the business? And they're like, yep. And then now I'm going back and going, I really need you on the product first. And so I sort of, it felt to me like I was kind of getting them all excited about the business and then going, hang on a minute, there's a catch. You know, and so it was feeling a bit to me a little bit dishonest or something, like I was roping them into something and then throwing something else at them at the last minute. So now I'm just getting around my own fear with that and just really working on a lot of manifesting a better energy about it and letting it go and really believing that I'm offering people a really good thing, that I'm not what do you call it, hustling them, you know. I'm not hustling them. I'm offering them a really good thing. So really believing that, you know, what I'm doing is for their benefit, not mine, is what I'm trying to really break through and self-talk myself at the moment. Yeah.
Hey, Tam, can you hear me, or am I still out of reception?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I just can't see you guys. I can hear you guys, but I can't see you guys. Oh, babe, I love that you're so honest about that, because that's a massive block. But can I be really brutal and just tell you that that's all inside your head? It really is.
Yeah.
I know that sounds rough, but that's actually because that's the way that I used to think as well. But realistically, people need to be on board of the product. And if you say to them, you know, honestly, get them excited about the business, just what you're doing. People are either going to be interested in the product or they're going to be interested in the business. Very rarely are you going to find somebody who's interested in both. And even when they say they are interested in both, there's only one that takes their full. It made sense, but it was the business that I wanted. I was only on the product because I knew that I wanted to see if it worked for the business. Does that make sense? Have I got you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Makes absolute sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't try and be everything to everyone. If you know that your friends just want the business, then really just skip over the product and say, hey, but look, you're going to have to want to get on the product anyway, because realistically our team is so heartfelt that you want to be able to believe in what we're doing. And the best way to do that is to be a product of the product. And if you just have that, that's all you need to say. There's no other tricking, there's no other hustling. They just need to know that from the get-go, they must be a product of the product to be successful in this. But then we look at finances. Like, we don't worry about if you love the product. We don't worry about if you know it inside or you're a business person. You know, like, this is what I'd be thinking inside my head. So this is what I was using the analogy before of my eyelash lady. She said to me, I love the product, but I don't want to work with it. I want to work with the team. I want money and I want to be able to retire myself. So not all of your team are going to be that honest, but, you know, you don't have to provide an opportunity for them in both pathways, if that makes sense. So with Stace, I knew straight away, cool, well, you've got to be on the product because you want to be able to share your story, but okay, now let's build team. I didn't want to have to make her feel like, okay, cool, so, you know, this is all the program, this is all the ins and outs of being a customer, because I knew she wasn't interested in that. So we're all going to have blocks around asking our friends and family about doing this. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, it's not a misconception really, because it's true, but most of us feel terrified of the fact that we're going to have to use our friends and family to get ahead in this business. But when we look at it from that perspective, it's daunting. When you look at it from the perspective of, if you trusted me, I could actually make you a six-figure earner. Like, that's a pretty big thing. If you guys see your friends struggling and you're not reaching out to them, like, you know, this is what I was saying before with my eyelash lady. She knew what I was earning and she got really upset that I'd never asked her, because she'd constantly been sharing her struggles with me. You know, so she thought there must be something wrong with her and that I didn't want her on the team, but realistically I was just trying to be super polite. So it can come back either way, but I honestly think that this business, it does create dreams. It's not it's not a mirrors type thing, and I literally know that because I'm sitting here living it right now, and that was not always the case. You know, life was shitty. I was one of those people, and I was so damn grateful that Lauren pestered the fuck out of me and got me in this business, because there's no way that I could have created a six-figure income doing anything else. So, you know, I guess sometimes we just need to build our belief in what we're doing, because we can actually help people. It's not always about the hustle, about the end of month, about, you know, getting our points on the board. It's actually about, well, whose life can we change? And if we think about it, we are probably, especially you guys that are in Tanz's Leg, are probably some of the most heart-driven
Lost you, Kat.
Done.
You with us, Kat? You gone?
Yeah.
Definitely the conversation that I needed to hear. I'm off to sign my daughter up this afternoon.
Yeah,
my new team.
Right.
That's awesome.
She's really excited. And I even said to her, you know what, you don't really even need to succeed. I need you to not succeed for a while.
Oh.
Say it, my TV. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, Pam.
Well done, mate. Well done.
She's already doing little posts and things, so you know, I know she's really keen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yay.
It'd be cool. She'll be on our training call soon.
Great.
She's got nothing to do, so might as well. She's got all the free time I don't, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could be building yourself to SC too, Tam, and then you'll just get qualified along the way as part of the process. So yeah, and you know she definitely can help you there.
Yeah. And then I've my second lady, she's over in the hut. She's just found out she's pregnant. And she's just told me yesterday that she's like nearly 4 months along.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Hard take.
Well,
So,
this
yeah.
would be great for her then.
Yeah, I'm just about to touch base with her again and just say, so, you know, spin on the product. The hard thing is she got on the product so she could see if it makes her feel better, but now she's realised why she's not feeling good.
Yeah.
And I don't think the caps are making much of a difference with the morning sickness, you know. But
you know about Kat's journey, her pregnancy. She's just been feeling so ill. She felt so ill for about 3 months. She couldn't actually take the capsules. She couldn't hold anything down, and she didn't want to waste them.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah. Awesome. So where are you at, Orla? Have you upped your goal, honey, for this month?
That was very inspiring. Definitely want to sign people up. And what I was telling you earlier, feeling very motivated.
Yes, that's great. Yeah. I think, you know, if, you know, all of you could actually aim for it, you know, obviously Maxine's already there, but all 3 of you could actually aim for SC this month. You could easily get SC if that's what you want, and you'll just get qualified along the way. It's just what will happen. Because the more team that you bring on, the more VS and DVS that you have in your team, that will keep you qualified, that will get you qualified and keep you qualified, and then you're just building these leagues to get to SC. So you really only need about 3 leagues. And I know for Orla, for you, it just means obviously starting again, because Rob's not really someone that you can, you know, build up, because he's not at that in this right space at the moment. But definitely, you know, bringing on 3 new team will need, like Kat said, at least 5. I mean, I would go for a ×10 goal. So that, you know, you might get 4, you might get 5, who knows? Wouldn't that be awesome? I just want to say right now, I've only ever had 2 team at the most in a month, but I am so going to get more than that this month. So, you know, I've just said it now, so you guys can hold me accountable for that. But yeah, the more team that you bring on, and that means that you need to be sending out at least 1 invite every single day of this month, every single day, at least 1 invite, and then following up on all those.
The thing is, Tanya, you work really hard, and so why do you think it is you're getting 2 a month?
Because for a long time I wasn't sending invites out every day. Complete honesty here, I have huge fear around hassling my friends too. Just like you guys do, I have massive fear around it, and so now I've decided I'm doing the 90 and 90 challenge, which is making me send out a link every day, and now I've got a lot more interest sitting there. So it just means, and I don't go to sleep until I have sent a link out. So I get to the end of the day, and I still, you know, and I send invites out. Like I'll invite people to have a look, but if they don't come back to me, then I'm still going to keep going until I actually find someone that says, yes, send it to me, yes, please, and then I'll send it to them. And I could be sending out invitations. I could send out 8 to 10 invitations a day some days, because some people don't always see my messages straight away, or they just don't, they don't respond to it, or I get a no. So, but most of the time, people don't say no. Yeah. So I think it's really important for you to get really honest around how much are you doing, what are you doing on a daily basis that is actually going to get you that team. And that's what I've had to do. I've had to say, well, hang on a minute, what can I actually do to be better? Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
See
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah, what is it that you need to do to actually bring on that team? And that's what I've had to do. And so for me, it means that I have to send out that link every single day to at least one person. And that means
it's also quite good to hear how it's quite good to hear how you guys are cold marketing and stuff as well. Like for some of us, we wouldn't have a clue where to start, but I think it's quite good to share. Like if we're looking for more opportunities, where do we find them and how do we go about it? And so just sharing for people like Roymarta, who might not know what I'm doing, but I'm finding groups on Facebook that I connect with. Like recently I joined a vegan one, not because I'm vegan, but because I know that's a group that will probably be interested in these caps. So then I find the groups, and then I find one that doesn't say anything in the pinned posts about not being allowed to say things about food or nutrition or products. And then I will just go in there and either start conversations or jump onto ones where people are already asking for help. So there's a multitude, there's billions of groups out there with people reaching out looking for help. We just need to find them and comment and tap in. And so how to find cold market is, I think, really intrinsic and crucial part of this business, because we can just get on our computer and start, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but who's actually seeing it? Only some of our friends. So yeah, getting into groups that you wouldn't normally, if I'm going to spend some time on Facebook now, I'll allocate a little bit of time into looking for a new group. And so making friends with strangers, really important. This is just what I've found for me anyway, is getting out of my comfort zone about not befriending strangers and just finding the common thread and just making a conversation and then making a friend. And that's really helpful. And also into parenting groups and, anything where I will just jump on and go, who's having trouble feeding their kids veggies?
Yeah.
I don't get enough time to do what I'd like to do, but this is what I'd like to be doing, and this is what I have found is working for me so far. Some of those things have just had instant hits. I've had them with Kapiti community page. I've had them with a secondhand garage sale group in Wellington City, and I've had I've just had a couple of bites, and that's enough, for me to go, wow, this actually works.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it sounds like So it sounds like you're more focused on customers, is that right?
Well, at that point, that's what I needed. So that's what I needed to do, was find some more customers. But what I'm saying is the same thing can be done for teamies and things as well. It's just getting comfortable with making friends that you didn't have before. Getting comfortable and where to find those friends and where to find like-minded people that you could join as friends, and maybe they'll be teamies or something. But yeah.
So there's different ways that you can do it. Basically, a cold market, when we talk about cold market team, we talk about advertising jobs for our team.
Right.
So Maxine and I are doing things like we're advertising from our business page. So you can, if you've got a business page, you can actually put an ad out from there where you don't have to pay for it. You can just get it for free. You can also go into job groups around New Zealand or around the world, depends on where you want, and you can post the job ads in there. You just have to make sure that it's a group where they allow network marketing, because a lot of these groups don't allow network marketers to post in there. And make an active one, like there's actually people commenting on the posts in there, because then you know that it's not active if they're not commenting. So that's when we talk about cold market advertising, that's what we're talking about. When it comes to, yes, what you're talking about with groups and stuff, yes, that is an excellent way to make new friends. I don't generally see them as cold markets. I see them more as that's a way to network. So that's a way to actually collect friends. So yes, when you go into an interest group, and when you talk about how do you find the like-minded people that you want, you've got to ask yourself, what does your ideal team look like? So who are they? Are they spiritual? Are they compassionate? Are they driven? Are they, what are their attributes? What are their values? When you know specifically what they are, then you've got to ask yourself, where will I find these people? So what would these people be doing? If they're spiritual, will they be in spiritual groups? If they're, if they're interested in nutrition, obviously you want people who are interested in nutrition, right, Tam? I mean, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Then where would they be? They'll be in groups like that. So find groups that you love, that you really enjoy, and that those people will be in that group. And then just, like you say, start conversations with people on the post in there yourself so that you're adding value, and just comment on other people's as well, and create friends that way. So the whole idea of being in a group is not about recruiting people, it's about collecting friends. So look at it that way, that you can make a new friend rather than recruit somebody. Because if you go into a group with the whole goal of just recruiting people, then you're going to come across that way, and people are not going to be drawn to you, but they're also not going to want to be your friends. So come from a heart space of, how can I help this person, or how can this person help me? Because that's the other thing too. Often I go into groups and I find somebody who can actually really help me, like somebody who's really interested in past life regressions, or and we can relate that way, we can connect that way. So find something that you can relate to them about, and then say, and then take it to a personal message and just have a conversation with them in there and build a rapport, and then you can add them as a friend. So that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really important to operate in groups where you genuinely connect with those people. So for you, Tammy, I would say I would have I'd be cautious about operating in vegan groups, because your own beliefs are quite different to vegans. And at some point, there's probably going to be, do you know what I'm saying? If they do start kind of connecting to you and getting on your page and like starting to connect, at some point there's going to be a bit of a mismatch. So
if that's for a teamie but not for a customer. Yeah, I was doing it for customers. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, but I think that the problem is customers can it's not a problem, but customers can become team, and that's precisely how I got Karen. I got her through talking to somebody in a vegan group about our shakes, and then she talked to me about the shakes, and then she went on my page and noticed that I had a job, and now she's jumped on as team. So I honestly think, for me, I've started to become more successful as I've got much clearer about who my tribe is and who I really want to connect with, who I genuinely want to connect with. So for me, I wouldn't operate in a group that had clearly different ideas to my own.
Well, I tried to connect with a meat eating group, and apparently I eat too many veggies, so I didn't have any luck there.
You tried to connect in what?
I think they all need to stop judging, because I'm just anyone's friend, I eat vegetables, but I eat meat as well. But I'm just saying, I went to a meat eating group, and apparently I eat too many vegetables for them.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
What about an organic group, honey? That's your jam.
Oh, no.
Organic group.
Oh, yeah. There's just not generally many organic groups as much so as there are exclusive. We don't group ourselves as organics.
Yeah, or nutritional, nutritional eating or healthy eating or something like that,
Yeah.
Because I know that's your jam, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're passionate about keto, why don't you go into the keto groups? I mean, there's heaps.
I am. I'm with them. Most of them won't allow marketing. Yeah, they're pretty. And even the keto people, I don't get into this group. I struggle with people that need to separate themselves into boxes. So I need to find a group of free thinkers.
Yeah.
Maybe people who are open to whatever.
Why not?
The point about vegans is they're not very free.
Yeah.
They're not very open-minded. They have a very clear thing that they're not interested in killing animals and eating meat. So, you know, it's really there are just some groups where it's not a live and let live kind of philosophy, and I think veganism is one of them, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I realise that. Yeah. I am aware of that, very aware.
But then you don't need to necessarily market your product in the group. In fact, I would say please don't do that, because I never do that. So don't do that. But you can certainly, add value in a conversation. And sort of plant seeds rather than be right there and obvious. So it's more around, I may be able to help you if you're interested, I have whatever, and then and if they want to know more, then take it to private message.
There's a group that you might like, actually, Tammy, that's called Home Cooks of New Zealand. Have you heard of that group?
What is it?
It's called Home Cooks or Home Cooking of New Zealand.
No, I haven't heard of it.
And they seem to be quite an active group and quite but I'm kind of dipping out because most of their food is quite heavily meat based, and I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't really find a way of like being in there that was working for me. But they are, they're just a general group of people who don't particularly have any strong kind of, I think some of those, or like there's quite a lot of groups where it's like food on a budget, or there's quite a few where people that don't have strong kind of religious beliefs about what they're eating. So
I think for you, Tam, the most important thing first of all is just to find groups that you love, that you're really passionate about, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're passionate about, you're going to attract the same people to you, because you've got something in common. You can relate to each other.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, and I think it takes quite a long time to find
more vegan
groups. Hey?
Yeah.
What was that?
I said no more vegan groups, I promise.
I think it takes a while to actually find groups that fit, that feel good. And it's taken me months and months and months, and I've just found a really lovely one, like people who do yoga, that they hardly ever talk about yoga. They just really connect heart to heart. They talk about their problems, their stuff that's going on for them, and they're gorgeous. They are the most gorgeous bunch of women. And you just have to keep joining and just just see how the vibe is and what they're like. So it's very much hit and miss, isn't it? You just have to keep exploring, I think.
Process of elimination. All right, ladies, well, I'm going to end this meeting now.